Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome once again to NoDQ&A video. This is the post Bound for Glory edition of NoDQ&A video, and as a result, I actually have a lot of TNA questions here for once. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get right down to it. First one today comes from WraithWolf007. Thoughts on Bound for Glory? A move forward or another nail in the coffin? I thought that Bound for Glory was a very solid show overall. Not a great show, not a bad show, somewhere in the middle. I think that it's not really going to do much to change the status of the product right now. I don't think that they hit the home run that they needed, to get people talking about TNA again and trying to build some kind of momentum. I don't think TNA was successful in that regard, but it wasn't a show that's going to further lose viewers and alienate their audience. So, it was just, to me, another TNA pay-per-view, and, nothing too extreme, either positive or negative. But I'll get more to the specifics here now with these other questions. This one comes from Nicholas E10. Hi, Aaron. What did you think of the ending to Bound for Glory? I enjoyed seeing AJ win and Dixie going off. Yeah, I thought that it was a good ending because fans buying the pay-per-view wanted to see AJ Styles finally come full circle and win the title, and TNA told that story, and it continues the AJ and Dixie feud. Dixie tried to do everything in her power to screw AJ, and it didn't work. Some people criticized the ending, saying that it was too similar to when CM Punk won the title, and the same thing with AJ Styles in the crowd, like CM Punk in the crowd celebrating with the title, and not under contract, all that stuff. But I mean, whatever. I mean, it was fine for what it was, and you get what you pay for. You ordered Bound for Glory to see AJ Styles win the title, and TNA delivered. So I would say that's a positive at least. Next question here. Hey Aaron, what did you think of AJ Styles and Magnus's victories at Bound for Glory? Which of the victories stood out in your opinion? For me, it was Magnus. He proved Sting wrong. Well, I already talked about the AJ Styles win, and I was fine with that. And I'm fine with Magnus getting the win here. I was expecting that he would get the win here, but the fact that he tapped out Sting and Sting did the clean job. I mean, I give Sting credit for going out there and doing everything in his power to put over the younger talent, and that's really what you need to do to at least attempt to elevate a guy, is give him a clean win, and that's what Sting did. So hats off to Sting, and I don't know how effective it's going to be in the long run if Magnus is going to be seen as this credible superstar in the future, but it definitely helped. It helps for Magnus to get that kind of win over somebody the caliber of Sting. So, I'm perfectly fine with it, and, I think they did the right thing here. Alright, this one comes from Del Rio Fan 74. Hey Aaron, what did you think of the match between Kurt Angle and Bobby Roode at Bound for Glory? Personally, I thought it was a Match of the Year candidate. Also, what do you think is going to come out of Angle declining his Hall of Fame induction? I thought it was a really good match, and the reports I got, I had several people there in San Diego at the show, and all of them thought that the match was great, easily the best match of the night. As far as Match of the Year candidate, I don't know if I would go that far. It was certainly one of the better TNA matches of the year. I know a lot of people were critical of the finish, though. I don't think people like the fact that Angle did the Angle Slam and knocked himself out, and that's how Bobby Roode won. It was kind of similar to that match where it was Sting and Bobby Roode, and Sting did the Scorpion Death Drop, and his head hit the chair, and he knocked himself out, and that's how Bobby Roode won. That finish is kind of lame, but they're doing this storyline with Kurt Angle where he's declining the Hall of Fame and feels that he needs to earn it. And, he's let everybody down in recent times. So, it'll be interesting to see where the storyline goes. Maybe it's going to lead to an eventual Kurt Angle versus AJ Styles match for the title, and AJ will beat Kurt. I mean, who knows? Or Kurt will beat AJ Styles. I mean, that could be the direction that they're going in the future. I guess we'll just have to wait and see how it plays out. But I think it's an interesting storyline for Kurt Angle because it is similar to real life. Kurt Angle had the whole rehab stint, and he's getting into his mid-40s, and he's going to be questioning if he still has it, if he can still perform at the level he used to perform at. So I do like it because it is once again art imitating real life here, and usually those storylines work well on television. So I'm very curious to see what direction it goes in. All right, this one comes from the Real Lay Cool. Which pay-per-view, in your opinion, was better, WWE Battleground or TNA's Bound for Glory? I would have to say Bound for Glory because at least when you ordered Bound for Glory, you had a finish in the world title match, and then there was a champion crowned. So because of that alone, I would say that the TNA pay-per-view was better. I mean, the Battleground pay-per-view was bad, and I'm not even going to try to defend it. So there you go, TNA apologists. I said something positive about TNA. Now leave me alone. Anyways, next question here from WWE Fan 5. Hey Aaron, which DVDs would you like to see WWE release? Personally, I would love to see an Edge or Christian DVD and a Rhodes Family DVD. Keep up all the great work. Well, I would actually like to see, all the Raw episodes, or at least the highlights of Raw, some of the best moments in Raw history, be released. They released the Best of Raw Season 1, which was 93, 94, and then they stopped doing the DVDs, and they only released that one. So, I would like to see more of those released. I guess they didn't sell quite as well as WWE was hoping, but, I like to have all those key moments in Raw history on DVD. So, I'd like to see that. I'd like to see more WCW Nitro releases, more NWO stuff, more Sting stuff from the Monday Night Wars. And Rhodes Family DVD would be cool, but they've already done the Dusty Rhodes DVD. They really haven't done a Cody Rhodes and Goldust one. So, at some point, I would wait. I would wait a bit for a Rhodes Family DVD. Wait till this whole thing with Cody Rhodes and Goldust plays out. But once that's over, I mean, that would be a great idea to do a DVD based on their family. And Edge and Christian had so many great matches, but a lot of those matches have already been released on DVD. I mean, it's tough right now because WWE has put out all the most important matches basically on DVD, and it's hard to come out with a new DVD with fresh material that we haven't seen already, and something that's also significant. So, I mean, it is interesting to see what WWE will come up with next to try to do something different and not just release the same thing over and over again. All right, this one comes from YesFan5. I wonder if he's friends with WWE Fan 5. Hey Aaron, do you think that the IC Championship should change hands soon? I think that Curtis Axel is one of the worst IC champions in some time, and his matches are rather boring. Well, I've talked about Curtis Axel before, and I do agree with you that he hasn't exactly lit the world on fire as IC champion, and they've had Paul Heyman in his corner, and he's just not clicking with the audience. I mean, that's the bottom line here. So I think it's time for a change, and Big E Langston just did his babyface turn on SmackDown, and he's starting to build up some momentum, and I think he'll do really well as a babyface, and that would be a good way to establish him as a potential top babyface, is give him the IC title and see where things go with that. So if Curtis Axel's losing the title soon, I think that it's best to go with Big E as the next champion and give him the opportunity. All right, last question today comes from Cray Sade King. It doesn't make sense for TNA to go back to Florida for the Impact Zone. Wouldn't it help more if they chose a different place like New York City, Chicago, or Philly, someplace new? Well, it does make sense financially because a lot of TNA talent and employees of TNA, a lot of them live in the Southeast and Florida and the southern states, Tennessee. That's where Nashville is, TNA's headquarters. So it does make sense in that regard for TNA to be in the Southeast, and they already have the connection with Orlando and Universal Studios. So, I mean, it's a cost-cutting move for them to go back to the Impact Zone, at least for the time being. I mean, there's been talk about doing Impact in a single location again for a while now, And one of the places speculated was Las Vegas, but the problem is that very few talent live in the Vegas area. I mean, Mike Tenay lives there, and you have a few guys that live in Southern California that can make the drive. But TNA would have to fly all those people, cross country, and then that's more money. So they're just trying to cut back on costs right now, and in a perfect world, if they were going to go back to doing a single location, it would be maybe better to do it in a different city. But Orlando has all the tourists coming in and out all the time, so I mean, that's another reason why they like to do Orlando, because they can get the people that are coming into the theme park to attend the Impact tapings, and they're almost always guaranteed a full capacity crowd. And if you go to another city, you might burn out those fans, and you don't have as many tourists coming in, and that could be bad too. So they're doing what they feel they have to do at this point, to keep the company going, basically. All right, that'll wrap things up for this edition of NoDQ&A video. Thanks as always for watching. Subscribe, youtube.com/NoDQCW, and I will see you guys tomorrow for the post-Raw edition of NoDQ&A video.